Welcome to Massive Beers. My name is Matt. We do the beer stuff here, and brewery I haven't reviewed in a little bit. Jersey beer. Source Brewing. It's their source of hoppiness. Yeah. This is a double dry hopped India Pale Ale coming in. Why did I say that way? Coming in at 6.5%. It was canned a bit over 2 months ago. In Colts Neck, New Jersey. I've been to the brewery a couple times. Brewery's quite nice. Very pretty, kind of farmish kind of vibes. It's in a very, very horrible location. Oh, it's on the Bedminster Golf Club, if you know where that is. And who owns it, you know why it's a horrible place. But that doesn't mean the brewery is horrible. It is, the brewmaster is, the brewer, head brewer, I should say. Brewmaster is an old head brewer from Carton Brewing. And I dig their beers. They tend to be a little bit pricey, but it seems like their price points have maybe either stayed static while everybody else's have risen, or maybe dropped a skosh, because I think I got this close to like $17 for a 6 and change hazy. That's almost par for the course now, so I saw it, figured I'd pick it up. Let's go from there. Yeah, drink from the source. Source of Hoppiness, double dry hop, 6.5%. That's all we got. Yeah, label-wise, it's kind of a mixture between their own thing and a little geometric pattern thing going on, so I can get down with it. We'll see what's what. Crack that sucker. And, yeah. In the mood for a little bit of haze. We'll see how this sucker goes. Anyway, so yeah, they're not super far away from me. Maybe about 50 minutes, maybe an hour of pushing it. But it's always hard to get out that area. Colts Neck, that Bedminster area is just always rife with traffic. So, you know, with having a kiddo and stuff like that, it can be a little bit hard to get out there. A little bit of yeast particulate floating around in there. But other than that, there's a beautiful golden glow. Pinky finger of white as white can be kind of head. Yeah. There's funky pieces floating around in there. So it could be just a cake, yeast kind of cakey thing, kind of just fluttering inside of that sucker. I'm not going to hate on that, to be perfectly honest with you. And yeah, it looks quite pretty. Let's get a nose. That actually has a really nice nose on it. It's a nose reminiscent of a little bit smaller of a beer, like almost like, you know, your low fives, high fours kind of nose. Bright citrus, very summery, leaning into a pineapple kind of tropical fruit kind of thing mixture, where it has this ultra brightness to it. Very just like New England style. Let's try to drop out all bitterness and make it as bright and as drinkable as possible, kind of hazy kind of nose to it. So gobs and gobs of citrus, nice kind of leaning into the pineapple heavily, and then this is nice kind of tropical fruit. That's this kind of mango kind of kiwi kind of combination, and that's pretty much it. No precursor to bitterness, a nice sweetness to it. We're just going to dive in. Cheers, y'all. That's tasty. Slightest touch of bittering. Yeah, I like this. I like this quite a bit. It does really remind me of low ABV haze. It is coming at, what was it again? 6 and change? 6.5. It very much reminds me of a lot of the beers that I really covet that come in that really low 5 or maybe high 4 range. And then it has a nice, soft, creamy mouthfeel, but at the same time, it's not like... It's got a density to it without being thick. So it's creamy and fluffy, a silky kind of fluffiness to it. At the same time, having a nice kind of soft little sweetness to it. A little bit of pithiness in there to add a little bit of bittering from those hops. And just really that bright combination of that citrus leaning heavily into the pineapple with that nice kind of tropical fruit. I mean, I'm kind of repeating myself of all the things I said, but the nose really does follow and the taste almost spot on. Finish is a little bit dry, that little bit of pithiness, so that makes you want to go back for an additional sip. I think this is really tasty. I dig this quite a bit. But, the nitpicks, the picking of nits, I keep referencing low ABV. And that's where this one kind of slightly jumps the shark for me. Is that it's very, very tasty. You give this to me at 4.8, 4.5, I'm like in Mount Rushmore status. 6.5. That's where this one kind of just loses me a little bit. Even though it is a tasty beer, and you're like, come on, man, it's tasty beer. Why can't it just be tasty beer, the ABV? But I've had much more higher, impactful, robust beers at this ABV level And that's where this kind of just doesn't lose me, but just wish it had a little bit more chutzpah to it, or it was just a lower ABV. But it's a really, really tasty beer. Really well done. I like that touch of dryness on the end that makes you want to go back to for more. And just that kind of fruit medley between that kind of tropical fruit and that heavily pineapple-leaning citrus with this just nice, drinkable, lush mouthfeel, fluffy mouthfeel. Just makes for a really fun beer. I think we're done. There's really not much to say. It's not an ultra complex beer by any stretch of the imagination. It's giving you what you expect. A New England style haze with a touch of bittering and a really well done package, done and done. Is it one of the better beers that I've had? One of the better IPAs I've had? It's like, yes. Is it Mount Rushmore status? Just below that. And again, you give this to me low fives, more specifically like mid to high fours, then this is on that mountain. That's the thing. The ABV, for me it matters. So it keeps it off of that. Value and availability, like I said, kind of pricey, but it's kind of like par for the course nowadays, so I'm not going to sit here and get like super mad on it. And off the shelf. And if you like what we like, if you like hazies, honestly, you drink this, you dig hazies, I think, I actually, let me phrase that. If you like IPA, because I think if you're old school IPA drinker, I think you can dig on this, because I think it's that well made. But at the same time, if you're a new school haze bro or hop thought, I think you dig on this too. So if you like hop forward hazy beers, you're going to dig it. You're going to dig it. So there you go. Reviewing the books. Source. Have you been to the brewery? I've been there a couple times, like I said. Have you had their beers? Have you had this beer in particular? If you've had this recently, more specifically, with a couple months on it, is it ring true? Have you had it hyper fresh? It's a little bit different when you had it fresh. What's your favorite beer from Source? Let's talk about all that fun stuff down there. So hopefully you enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a little Source right now. We'll see you next time. Cheers, y'all.